Hey y'all, Lily here. I'm ready to do a little painting. Today we're going to do a quick little painting that's really cute. The thing's going to be a little different about this painting tutorial is we're going to do it on the cheap. Because if you want to be creative or a little bit crafty and everything, you don't want to run out and spend 50, 60 bucks on paint supplies. So we're going to do this cheap. First thing we're going to do to make it a little more inexpensive is we are going to use canvas panels instead of a stretched canvas. These things are really cheap. You can go to Walmart and get a 6-pack. I spent $8.97 for a 6-pack of canvas panels. 3-pack I think run you about $4.97, and we're using 11 by 14 today. You can go bigger or you can go smaller, whichever you prefer. The other thing we're going to do to make this painting a little bit cheaper is we're going to use acrylic paint, and we're going to use Apple Barrel acrylic craft paint. Now these little things of paint are only like 50 cents, and we're only using 6 colors today. So $3 for your paint, and you can use them again later on another painting. But for today's painting, we are going to use 2 shades of blue. So we got a bonnet blue and a tube blue. You can use whatever shades of blue you personally like. We also are going to use some yellow. I got bright yellow. If you want to use pale yellow, that's fine. And then we're going to need a little bit of brown. This is chocolate bar brown. So we need a little bit of that. And then I already had these bigger containers of black and white, but you can get those in the little 50-cent size as well. Now another thing we're going to do to make this cheaper is, yeah, you can go out and buy some cheap brushes, but then you may not have them. You may have some laying around, but this is going to be a little bit different, a little fun. We are going to use paper towels. I've done this before. It's a lot of fun. So hey, let's push some paint around and see what masterpiece we can create. There are a couple of other things you're going to need that I forgot to mention is paper plates to put your paint on and a blow dryer. This will make it go a lot quicker if we have a blow dryer. So what I've done is I have taken and put my paint on my paper plates. I got my blue, yellow, and brown on one, and then black and white on the other one. So to get started, we're going to take basically just what we're going to do is cover the background. So we're going to fold our paper towel in half, roll it up, so we get a pretty loose roll. Don't roll it tight, because you want to get a pretty big end down there. So now you're going to just give yourself something to hold on to, twist it. So this is what you're going to end up with. Kind of looks like paper towel, rose, whatever. We're going to start with our black. So cover the whole bottom of that paper towel pretty good with black. And we're going to go down here to the bottom. I would say the bottom 2 to 3 inches. We're just going to cover that with black. And you don't want like a straight line, because that would just be weird. You want it to be varying heights, okay? So, like I said, 2 to 3 inches. Now, without cleaning this brush, and don't go right into the middle of your white, go to the edge, so that when we go to use white, we're still going to have some white paint. Cover the bottom with white. Now we're just going to go right above that black with the gray. So we're going to keep going up. Till, the bottom several inches are covered. I don't know, what's that, 5 inches up? And again, we don't want just a solid line. Very nice. Alright, so this is what we have so far. You want to make sure kind of blend that black and that gray together. We don't want a bunch of the canvas poking through. Alright, so probably done with this paper towel. So let's toss that. Now, get a new one. We're going to fold it the same way. Roll it up. Nice and loose. Now we're going to go into the darker blue. Just cover the ends. And we're going to come in and tap some darker blue in there. Just right up next to that gray. And go a couple inches up. About like that. Then, you don't have to clean it. Let's go into the lighter blue. Mix the two colors together. Kind of blend them in. We're going to go pretty far up with that blue. Getting pretty close to the top. Now, without washing it, let's go into our white, and again, don't go straight to the middle, kind of go to the side, so we still have some white paint on our, and let's just go and finish with the white. Now if you don't have a, what is this called, an easel, you can just do it on the table, but just be sure and put some paper towel or cardboard or something underneath so that you don't get paint all over your table. But you can do this laying flat. Okay, so finish that off. Got all of our canvas covered. That was the main thing for right now. Let's get all that covered. See any white sticking out, just kind of blend it in. You can blend those blues in. Okay, so at this point, this is what your canvas should look like. Okay, so now we need to determine where our light is going to come from. And I'm going to have it come right in the middle of the canvas. So I'm going to go back into the white. Let's just tap it out. So this is where our sun line is coming from. It's right in the middle. Like so. And that's fine. This is all going to blend together. Okay, so using, no, we're not going to use that. We'll throw that away. Let's get a new paper towel. This time, let's fold it into fours, or like that. And then we're going to fold it again, like so. And then one more time. Our goal is to get this almost like a paper airplane, to get this sharper little point at the bottom. So now we're going to take your yellow and your blue, your darker blue. You're going to mix them together, and that's going to give you a dark greenish color. And don't mix it so much that you lose all that yellow. So you want to, well, you can't really see. You want to keep some of it marbled like that, so when we go in, it will look marbled. Alright, now using that same little point, you can use that same point. Just load it with a lot of paint. You're just going to go in there. You're going to tap all back here. And don't lose all of your blue because there would be sky back here peeking through trees, right? I'm just going to tap it. Tap the canvas like that. Let's go all the way up to the top. And like I said, don't lose all that blue we just painted. Just tap it. At this point, it is going to look blotchy, but that's okay. Just tap it, tap it. And down at the bottom where this gray is, tap quite a bit in there. And our goal is to leave some opening so that blue sky shines there. Alright, so now you can take this paper towel. Let's just fold down where we got the green paint. And then we fold it again. And then one more time, we're going to get clean fine point. So let's go into our black and our white. And let's mix up a little bit of gray. Alrighty. So we mixed together and got a nice gray color. Now let's load the end of that paper towel with quite a bit of paint. What we're going to do is we're going to go, oh, I almost skipped a step. At this point, we need to dry this background or else we're just going to smear it when we go in at our tree branches, our tree trunks. So take a few minutes. If you don't have a blow dryer, this dries pretty quick. Just wait a little bit and it'll dry. But I'm going to pause it while I take a few minutes to dry this. Load the end, the fine point of that. You're going to go back here. You're just going to start at the top. You may have to go over it a time or two. We're just going to add some tree trunks in there. Going to need quite a bit of paint on the end of that to get it to show up. Now, stop when you get a little ways into that gray down there. Got little buddy over here. That one goes off the canvas a little bit. Let's see how it is. And let's do one more on this side. And they don't have to be totally straight because, I mean, trees aren't perfectly straight. Now, use the same one. Let's go into the black. We're going to make these on this side darker just because of where the light is hitting. So these are darker over here. Maybe they're a little further back. Which means they're not going to come as far down. They're going to stop a little sooner. Let's go back and fold that down. Get a sharper point again. And let's put some little guys back here. Just an indication of little trees back there. And it does not have to be perfect. Something I like about trees, it's really hard to paint a long tree. So now we want a big tree right here in the middle. Just load it up pretty good. Make some nice big branches. That's a big tree right here. Like so. And we can go in and go ahead and put some other branches and these guys back here. Putting that across there, we're going to push those gray trees back. They're much further back than this big guy. And you can take your time filling in as few or as many branches as you would like. Alright, so at this point, we're going to dry this again. I'm going to take the blow dryer and get these trees dried. Alright, that's mostly dry now. We may have to go back and dry it a little more. But we'll dry some while we're making our pathway. So we're making a little path that comes around that tree there. So we're going to make us a point. Like so. We're going to go in and get some brown paint. Quite a bit of brown paint on the end of that. Okay, now we're going to start small. And then as you come around, you're going to get bigger. Work it back and forth. all the way around. As you get closer, you're going to get bigger. It makes the illusion that it's further away over there. It's going back behind that tree. Okay. So let's add a little gray to that so it's not so stark, just that brown. So just go in and lightly go across with that gray a little bit. Maybe tap it and make it look a little bit. Maybe there's a rock in there somewhere. So there's our pathway. It's a cute little path. Now, in order to seat that path, we're going to have to add some foliage down here and along the sides. So, using that same one, let's fold it over so we can paint this on the inside there. And fold that back up to a point. We're going to go in. We have that green we mixed up. Let's mix that up a little more of that, and get that yellow in there. But don't blend them together so much that we lose all that yellow. Now we're going to go in, we're going to tap right up here, the base of our trees. Like all kind of little bushes up there. We're also going to go along the sides of our path here. Here. Bushes. Here. Some taller things. Back there. We'll get some shorter things through here. Could even put a little bit of that brown in there, with that green, and just kind of get you a different color, a little different flavor. Adds like a red to it, doesn't it? Alright, just tap different little things in there. And again, we're not mixing it up so much that we're losing all that blue or all that yellow. We still have different colors in there. And down here, we don't want to lose all of that dark, all that black. We want to keep some of that darkness. So whatever you do there, just don't cover that all up. If you want to work it up, you can give the indication of some little grass blades with the grass. You just pull up like that. All right. I think this looks pretty good. So now we've got all this done. We have to work on adding some leaves up here to the top to our trees. So we're going to do the same thing. Just take that blue and that yellow. Don't mix them up so much that we lose. We just have one flat color. So we're going to go in, just tap where you think those trees should be. Where you think those leaves are on those trees. If you pick up a little bit of that black, use it to your advantage. Just add a little contrast to that. So we're not just a flat color. If some of it didn't get completely dry. And then we work it all the way across. Again, you don't want to lose all your blue right there. And if you want, you can take a little time and go in and add more branches right there. All right. Now again, this is not some super intricate work of art. It's very abstract, I guess. Art is subjective, right? One other thing you might want to use to kind of help with the little limbs, because that is kind of hard to do with paper towels, take a toothpick and go in to your black paint, just get a little black paint on the end, and just kind of run it through wherever there would be, just to give the indication of some little twigs and sticks and little tree branches going around through the canopy. From far away, you're not really going to notice it. When you start getting up close on it, it's a little detail that you'll probably notice. But it is hard to do that with the paper towels. And it's not something that's totally necessary that you do, but it does add a little something. You can just add a little indication, a little sticks and twigs and branches going on in the background. I'm gonna add some gray ones. Like so. And again, like I said, this is not something you have to do. It does just add a little something to the finished picture. And again, it's pretty random, just wherever they would be sticking out of the leaves in the canopy there. This is something you probably can't even see until I get you up closer. Probably won't even notice. And you can spend more time with this, getting it just how you want it. I personally could spend a long time just sitting here putting little twigs, little sticks, little branches all up in it. Alright, so we got the gist of that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add that light source that I talked about. To do that, you want to make sure that this is good and dry. You don't want any of the black or the green to still be wet. So take a few minutes, use the blow dryer, let it get really good and dry. Okay, we're ready to work on this sunlight coming through the trees. So to start with that, let's get our paper towel a little bit wet. And we're going to squeeze that water right onto our white paint. And then take that wet paper towel, kind of twist it in, get to a point, and then mix that white paint up with that water. I'm going to thin it down a little bit. And this is going to help us get that transparent look that we're wanting for the paint. Okay. So we got that. Water down a little bit. Be sure and keep that point on the end of your on the end of your paper towel. So our light's coming through right here. So let's just tap that in right there. That's going to sneak through here too. So again, get that light coming right through here. Now, just take a little bit where paper towel is good and wet, load it with paint, but then tap it off on a dry part of your paper plate. Then we're going to take and pull it like that. Straight line. It's going to give us these beams of light. Where sunlight is coming through the tree. And it's mostly shining this direction. Don't be scared. You just want it to be pretty thin, the paint to be pretty thin, because that's what's going to give you that translucent look. Just like so. You may say, well, I've lost part of my tree. So all you got to do is go back in with the black. And just kind of go over it. You can get that tree back pretty easily with that black paint. Although sometimes whenever light is shining through something like that, you will lose part of it. Alright. Then if you feel like you lost too much of your green leaves right there, you can do the same thing. Just go into your green, tap those back on. But if the light is coming through it, it's probably going to be pretty bright. Put some of that yellow in there. Shining through the canopy. Go in and add some brightness. And even down here in your grass where it's hitting. Maybe it's really bright right in there. Like so. And wherever you want a little brightness. I kind of feel like along the edges of this tree where the light is shining through, I think it would be lighter, so we're going to get a little bit of that gray. A little of that gray on there, because that's going to be brighter where that light is shining through. And on this side, it's probably going to be a little bit brighter, a little bit lighter all down there. Alright, So I think we've about got finished little thing going on. And since I like, maybe there does need to be one here. Let's go into our wet paint. Make sure it's good and thin. Maybe we do need coming this way. Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah. So, again, anywhere that need to be a little more black, I'm actually darken it up a little bit. And I think we're going to call this one done. Alright, so that's our finished picture. I'll show you a close-up, and you can take the time and do your little signature on there.